This is the machine.
Welcome to episode 19, I think it is. 19 already. Anyway, so yeah, last episode we went through the loom, made the loom. So I think from the 14-pin connector onwards into the engine, it's all fine now. At least it's good enough to start the car. And so what I need to do now is get the minimum viable operational wiring going back into the car from that 14-pin connector to the fuse box in the ignition switch. And so that's what that next bit deals with. There's a few uglies that we find in there. And then what that allows us to do at the end is go for a compression test. And that's going to be very interesting because I think that will prove, maybe go towards proving, that the engine is a boat anchor or not. And I guess the results of that compression test will dictate where the project goes from here on. So yeah, let's see, let's get on with it.
First look at the, whatever it's called, the electrical distribution piece. There's this thing, which looks distinctly aftermarket, which I guess is an arm immobilizer or something. There's some lovely Scotch blocks. Some stuff up there, I wonder what that is. Is that an alarm? And then definitely some stuff going on down here. So underneath I got some really shonky shit. I don't know what this is. That looks original. Some connectors there. I don't think they're original. Look at the state of that ground. I don't know what that's grounding, but that looks like it's part of the original loom. Maybe. Definitely not the original connectors. Oh man. So I'm guessing that's the alarm unit there. This all characterized by this sort of aftermarket thing here. It's really, there we go. 727 Ulcer. I guess that's the control module, and then here that's either an ultrasonic thing, or I guess a car phone, but I don't think it's a car phone. I think it's an alarm piece. And it's so this earth. Oh, listen. Yeah. I wonder if I turn this off. Oh yeah. That's the alarm immobilizer, I guess. Nope. God, it's shit. Oh man, it's so intermittent. Just goes to show the need for a good earth. Well, here's some horror. I've just lowered the fuse board, and there's a main. I guess that's a main distributor there, and then I found this wire coming across, which it's just completely melted. Let's see how I can replace that. Ugh. Doesn't look good. I'm amazed anything worked, to be honest. And then there's these things which look distinctly non-professional. I don't know what they're for. Maybe another arm, perhaps? I don't know. Fuse box out. Really quite easy. The only tricky bit, well, it wasn't even tricky, was the grounding point behind the bundle of wires. That main bundle there. Once that was undone, it all came out. Somebody's had this apart before, and very kindly on top of the colour coding, they put alphabetical stuff in there. Right, and then closer look at this. I'm hoping this is a symptom of the other loom issue. Some short somewhere. And it seems this is a pretty important job, because since I unplugged this, the whole car's gone dead. So yeah, there's some shit going down with this. So here's the plan. I'm going to keep this, I haven't got another one of these. I'm going to splice in some new wire onto this and terminate them in some spade connectors, and then I'm going to take out the two from the female plug and do it outside because it's right on the edge, and that will be a temporary fix, I think, until I can figure out what the main one is. There's no other damage from the melting. And incidentally, this one comes from the battery. So this is from terminal 30 on the starter, which is the battery one. So if you look at the diagram, and that goes there, and A1 and A2, which are these two, they go to the ignition. And I think maybe I think it's just the ignition. Anyway, so that's the short. The short is probably in the loom that I've replaced. Remember this one here? That was kind of made out of things. So one of these wires would go back down to the starter solenoid to start it. So I imagine it's shorted out somewhere here. Okay. Here's the old fitting here with the two tails coming off. I've got some 4mm squared wire from my old loom here. There's plenty of it here. And so I can connect these, sheathe it with heat shrink tubing, put that in, and then bring it round the edge here to connect to the sockets on the other side. And here are the sockets on the other side. So this one can go back onto the fuse board. All the other connectors are fine. And then these two, I'll join them to that other one. I might even actually, I think, cut them back and do a solder joint with them so that they can go direct to the pin on the back of the fuse board. There's no need to have these connectors now. It's always good getting new parts. So this arrived from Germany today. Here's what it looked like in the pictures. It should be a new battery cable from the battery starter motor, because the other one is loaded. And it's always dangerous going on the pictures because quite often they're like generic, but the reason why I bought this one was because it had some clips with it, because I suspect the ones that are there are going to break when I take them off, and it's got a new earth connector. Well, not new, but it's got an earth connector with it, which looks in better condition than the one that's on there. And it's got like this, where I can like connect some parasitic loads to further reduce the power available. Anyway, it looks like it's in pretty good shape. My old one is like cracked here, and you can see into the wires. It doesn't look terribly good. So yeah, brilliant. Happy with that. And I've made this tool to try and undo the old-fashioned pipe clips. Let's see if it works, because I need something to pull up the tabs so I can pull them off. We'll see if it works. Alright, so on the first one, it worked pretty well. You can see I've got, zoom in a bit. I've got them, managed to hook them and then make them straight and then pull this off. First things first, I'm going to remove this blue wire off this one, the original one. Don't know what that does, I guess we'll find out. Second blue wire is spliced into this black one here, so you take that off. So nasty bit of bodging there. Don't think even I would stoop to those levels. Okay, so just removed the, I guess that's an ultrasonic detector for inside, which was mounted up here. Came off those two pins there, so that's that out. Right, what next? I'm going to unplug the rest of these so I can get the loom out round underneath there. Alright, now to do these Scotch blocks at the other end. Take those off. And then, yeah, there's a bit of stuff here that should come out, including this on-off switch, which is spliced into this. Well, it's out, and all that's left are these wires here. This one I know was a loop to the ignition coil, which I've taken out, so the coil is now wired into the original loom, and that one I think went to the buzzer at the front. These two it'd be interesting to see what these are connected to. They're really thin, like the ultrasonic thing, so maybe a sensor, or I don't know, we'll see. I'll take this panel off, I think, and we'll have a look behind, see what horrors are there. Because the other thing is that the one that was melted that came out of that one, I've figured out is the one that goes to the seatbelt relay, and so that's supposed to be in there somewhere. So let's get that panel off and have a look. That's the whole thing out. So we got the main control unit. In the end there were two ultrasonics, one on drivers, one on passenger. This one was tucked down inside the A pillar. The wiring for the loop, the ignition loop, the switch, and then the only two things that are back in the car are still in the car are the sounder that's at the front, and then there's a little LED that's in the middle of the dashboard. So hopefully it will all work now. I've removed it. We shall see. Catering pack of fuses. I figure I'm going to be needing a few of these. So I've been round and cleaned all the grounding points. This is the last one, I think, and it's not at the right, it's in the left. So I took this bit off to look on the right. It's not. It's here, behind this trim here. What's unbelievable is that these things must be 40 years old and they're still working. Now compare that to the ones in the Volkswagen, which is 15 years old, and they all broke almost immediately when they came out. Anyway, clean those, put that back together. So I've got 8 litres of oil in, all the spark plugs are out, and I've been cranking it and it seems to be generating oil pressure, although I've got no faith that this dial is working. Here we go. It's definitely doing something. Is that 5? Don't know. I think we should just go over there and check those wires to see if the cranking has made them hot. Alright, so these are cold. You can see my Wago fix. Yeah. Okay, the battery's pretty low, but I've got the compression tester in, and we'll see relatively. That was the suspect one from the air test. Let's see how it goes. Zoom in. First one was 40, but I forgot to uncover the inlet port. It was sealed, so let's try again. Beauteous. Cylinder 8. That's 160 psi. Cylinder 7 is about the same, but the battery is starting to decay a little bit. It's never consistent. I think last time that one was a bit higher, but all the spark plugs are in, you see. So that would be loosely, but that would be making it a worse result.
So I've miraculously managed to make the camera get in the same place after filming the episode. Yeah, I am working through a bit of a backlog of content at the moment. But anyway, that was really interesting, I thought. I only did 3 cylinders, mainly because it was getting on my nerves that I couldn't get consistency and fighting the battery all the time. So yeah, that'll be one of the next things to do, is to get the battery. But we did see on 3 cylinders, on that troublesome right hand bank, that the compression is okay under those conditions. I don't know, it's not perfect by any means, but it's certainly not drastically low that this thing will be a boat anchor, and I take boat anchor to mean it doesn't work. And I think this could be more of a drogue. I think drogue is the term for the thing that goes behind boats that slows them down rather than actually anchors them. So maybe that's an appropriate term, and we shall see. So yeah, next up, got to do the fuel. That's fearsomely complicated with lots of intricate mechanical moving parts, and that's got to be spot on. And the ignition system. So yeah, a couple of big topics in front before we can actually get to really starting it. Anyway, onwards. No prizes for guessing where I am. It's really, really hot, and this beer's getting warm quickly, so I better drink it.